That is right. This is the Galactic Coast Power Hour, and we are coming to you live from the ACU of Texas studio on the top floor of the historic Gemini building, just down the street from the home of human spaceflight. My name is John Ennis, and I'm joined by my brother in brew, Muddy Mike Taylor.
Yo, yo.
And our sister in brew, Sylvia Benvenides, is not here. She's enjoying some live music up close and personal, the way it should be enjoyed.
Absolutely.
But enough about us. We are joined in studio by Jordan Davlin, owner and certified trainer of JetSurf Houston. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Hey,
Welcome,
John,
Jordan.
glad to be here.
And that's right, JetSurf. So we're going to talk about that. This Friday morning, I'm out on a media boat covering the Texas Outlaw Challenge, shooting the National Shootout Championships and the qualifying rounds of the IOGP Formula One races. And boom, there's this dude surfing Clear Lake. And you're thinking, how do you surf Clear Lake? There's no waves. No, this guy was on a motorized surfboard surfing the lake.
That's right. Yeah, it's a motorized surfboard. It's a lot of fun. We were so lucky to get out there at the Texas Outlaw Challenge and do a demo, so I'm really glad you got to see it on the water.
No, it's really, the people in our boat were impressed. At least two of the ladies were instantly texting their husbands that they want one. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really impressive. And I thought to myself, man, I need to get this guy on the show because I've never seen anything like this before. And I've been digging deep, and I guess it's been around a little while, but it's actually new to the States. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I'm glad to be here and tell people about it. It's been around 6 or 7 years internationally, but it's very new to the U.S. They kind of saved this to be their last big market. They knew they were going to dominate the globe, and this was going to be huge here. So they wanted to make sure and have everything in order, before they came here and established.
Right, and I was doing some research. They're big in Europe, big in Asia, big in Australia.
Absolutely. So the number one dealer in the world right now is actually South Korea. So to put it in perspective, they are popular all over.
Wow.
Anywhere there's water, popular destination, tourist areas, anywhere you really have water, you can drop the thing in almost anywhere.
Do not need waves.
So what powers this thing?
It's a two-stroke motor, gas-powered, 50-to-1 ratio mix. You're going to want to put a really nice 93 or up octane gas in it with a full synthetic oil mix.
Okay, so let's break that down for the normal guy.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So,
first we'll go into kind of the board a little bit, and then we can talk more about the mechanics.
Sure.
Yeah, so on the parts of the board, it's basically a monohull, and it's a completely carbon fiber.
Okay, so it's a single structure itself.
Yeah,
the hull
so yeah, it's
is a molded cast mold.
Yeah, casted carbon fiber mold, everything all
boom.
cut out of one piece.
Structure.
Absolutely,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
It has an electric starter. It's water cooled, and it's jet propelled, so it's a jet propulsion system. Some of the parts of the board, it has a common engine shutoff key or a kill switch like a jet ski.
So if you fall off,
absolutely. So your board's not gonna run across the lake or hurt somebody, right? You can swim back up to it and get back on. It has, there's not a lot of parts, to this thing. It's really cool. They tried to keep it light, with the carbon fiber and trying to keep a lot of the parts down.
I was impressed with how light it was. Both Mike and I took turns picking it up and everything. This is something that literally one person could carry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how fast does it get up to?
So there's 4 different models, and it's definitely a sport. So they're definitely racing these things. It's definitely a high-performance toy. They put a lot of engineering into this. They pack a lot of punch in the motor. The slowest model, which isn't that slow, goes 32 miles an hour, and the fastest model goes 42 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, so anywhere from 32 to 42 on the water.
The racers are pushing the...
Yeah, they're going to be riding the race titanium model, which goes about 42 miles an hour.
Is this something you can tweak? Do you tweak these?
Right now they're not doing a lot of that stuff. They pretty much figured everything out at the factory.
This seems like a pretty high tech setup that's already going on here.
Every year, the company's been really good about trying to always be coming up with new things and correcting some of the problems with the newer models. So this year with the factory GP, the 2018 model, they've come out with a lot of new features.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm impressed when I saw it when you carried it in and you put it on that stand. And you open the port there to show what's going on there for the engine. I was very, very impressed. That is an awesome looking machine. This has been in the water as well, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
So this is not like some new showroom piece. This is something that you've been using, right?
No, this board actually has been used in the water, but it's crazy. The carbon fiber in the engine's so clean that you wouldn't really be able to tell, right?
It is. It is so clean. I was thinking this was something you just took out of the box and brought up here. I really did.
That's how we like to keep them, well maintained.
Right. So what? Okay, so we can get to the whole maintenance of the thing first. But
Sure,
later. But so how long is this thing?
It's about 6 foot tall.
It's about 6 foot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about 6 foot tall, a little bit thicker than your average surfboard, a little bit wider than some, but not much wider.
So you're going 42 miles an hour on this if it's the top red, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So you're passing a lot of the boats and keeping up with a lot of the jet skis and wave runners on the water.
So. Licenses? Do you have to have a license to drive this? What's the?
You don't have to have a license, but there are some rules with Texas Parks and Wildlife and boater safety. They came out with some new rules a few years ago. If you're born after September 1st, 1993, you are required to get a boater's license or do a boater safety course to ride up PWC, a personal watercraft. That's the classification they're putting these into, even though it's its own thing and it's a motorized surfboard. The state's considering it, a powered, like I said, kind of like a jet ski.
It's kind of ahead of the whole classification structure, right? I mean, it's so cutting edge, they don't even know where to classify it.
Right. And at first I thought when I looked at the specs and I looked at everything that was going on, I expected you to unveil this, and if it was something that had been done in the water, to have a license number right there at the bottom.
Right,
for a Texas TX,
Right, yeah, they're actually working on that as we speak.
Yeah.
Trying to get that in
Personal
order.
surfboard 0001.
Yeah, it's still so
Bitches.
New. It's so new to the state.
Powered personal surfboard.
Right,
so
powered
PP,
personal
yeah.
PP. PPSB. Is that a PPSB license level?
And I was impressed with when I saw you Friday, and then also on Sunday you did a demonstration right before the finals of the IOGP Formula One race. I mean, you were getting air. I mean, you were getting air and carving.
Dude, he's going 42 miles an hour on this thing as he's going through Clear Lake. If he hits something, he's gonna be airborne.
Yeah, the cool thing about these is they're so light and you have enough power behind them that you can hit a wave or a wake and you can get some nice air. There's guys that are, big wave surfers, pro jet ski riders that are doing, incredible stuff with these things. You're getting big air.
Awesome.
Doing tricks, 360s, all sorts of cool stuff.
So the thing that we had discussed earlier, the thing that pulled you in was, of course, skateboarding, right? To
yeah,
keep that
absolutely.
Balance, keeping that balance, right? So how hard is that for a novice to do, to get on this and feel the balance and really enjoy riding it?
I think anybody can come out and ride a jet surfboard with the proper training. There are some people that are a little bit more coordinated than others and more balanced, and they might, catch on a little bit easier. They might have, a better time on their first lesson. It can be a bit of a learning curve, but I think after a 30-minute lesson, you can definitely get up and really enjoy this thing.
Cool, and take the bunny slopes on and
absolutely
test your own boundaries as you go on. Huh?
Yeah, and as you ride it, it doesn't take but 4 or 5 sessions to really start learning how to carve and starting to, get those jumps in.
Nice.
And I'm noticing your shirt says JetSurf Houston Academy. So you're literally putting an academy here in Houston. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and where it's going to be located?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be having the academy and the official factory shop out of the Endeavor Marina on Clear Lake.
Nice.
Wait, y'all are gonna have a factory shop at the Endeavor Marina?
Yeah, we'll do parts and service out of there, and we'll have a full sales showroom.
Sam's Boats.
Yeah, Sam's Boat, and
the boat launch, the Endeavor Marina
yeah.
is right there with the big forklift.
Right there. So luckily I've got a pier and a platform that we're going to be launching off of. So it's great that we have water access. And what a big part of this business is learning how to use this board. It's fun for almost anybody, but it's not something you can just hop on without the proper training. So the academy is a big part of the business, and what that provides is classes, group lessons, one-on-one training, all that kind of stuff.
Plus a group level environment of people that are all trying to help you come up and help the newbies and
because we want everybody to be able to get
going, right? I mean,
get out there and ride. Yeah,
or I guess Grom. Is it still Grom?
I'm not sure.
What it is?
So how many academies? How many jet surf academies are there in the country, in America? I mean,
so right now there's only 4. There's Miami, New York. Well, there's more than 4. We're all just slowly getting up off the ground. There's I guess about 7, but they're not all officially open. Kind of like myself, which will be open in the next week or so. But Miami and New York, you've got Orlando, you've got Tampa, Austin, and I think there's one other one I am leaving out, and then we'll be the only one here in Houston.
wow. Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm excited to be, launching in the greater Houston area, and, we're trying to draw on everything. Clear Lake's going to be our main office, but we're going to be down in Galveston. We're going to be up in Lake Houston, Lake Conroe, so we're trying to support.
Exciting time to be in Clear Lake, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I think Clear Lake and Mud Lake are probably the 2 most perfect places for a little personalized watercraft like this.
It really is, yeah. Me being from this area and just knowing how cool Clear Lake is, this is definitely where I wanted to launch the company.
The traffic is about right. The boats are not too big, and they move slow. There's your occasional someone going to Nassau Bay that's speeding through the deal, but, pretty much everybody's cool. So
right, yeah, it's the perfect lake for it.
Do you jump other boats' wake?
Yeah, no, technically no.
On the record,
no. So we got back in the day there was these little boats. Have you ever seen them? They're little personalized boats where just one person fits in.
Oh, okay.
And you drive it like a boat. It's got a little bitty Mercury motor, outboard motor on it, right? And it slips on the back, and you could jump wake out in Clear Lake.
Nice.
They rented them over by where the jet skis were, but these you could just sit back in and. Yeah, the Coast Guard didn't like us doing that.
Yeah.
They pretty much put an end to it as soon as they saw the whole thing going down, and there was like 6 little boats cruising around.
If you've got somebody you're working with that,
6 teenagers going crazy on wake,
Absolutely. If you've got someone you're working with in a boat, you can definitely use their wake if they're trying to create it for you. But just jumping random boat wakes, that's
pretty careless, right? Pretty careless,
absolutely.
So safety is a large part. Is that
Big time.
That is covered in the academy as well?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Situational awareness. And,
so when you come into the store for the first time, we're gonna break all that down for you. Show you the board, how to use it, the safety. And that's part of. We can also certify you when you come in for your first lesson to make sure that you know everything about the board and you have been briefed on the safety issues.
And you mentioned it's a showroom, but also you're going to be renting people. You're going to be selling boards, but people will be able to take lessons. And
oh no way! You'll be able to rent a board out of your store.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so like I said, we definitely want people to be able to try it, and people that can't afford to maybe purchase one.
Oh, that is
We can
awesome.
definitely have them come out there. This is an experience, something that people can come and do one time or many times without having to buy the product. So we'd love to have people come try the boards out on our rental side, and also, like I said, we do the lessons, the training. That's all attached to the rentals,
Sure,
Once
sure.
you've been trained and you've had some lessons, you can definitely just take a board out. But until
me looking
then,
at this right now, it looks like you're going to make sure that person's going to return with this safely. 'Cause
absolutely.
This looks like a fine-tuned machine right
Absolutely,
here.
yeah.
People go 42 miles an hour on this thing.
They're really state-of-the-art. The company spared no expense on machining these things in their factory. It's really nice. So they put a lot into it.
And I was doing some research online. First of all, if anybody listening out there, definitely look up JetSurf. Some of the videos.
Absolutely.
There's YouTube videos that'll blow your mind. It's and they're all well shot in exotic locations like Dubai and Shanghai and everything. It's really and very attractive people riding them. They've got a good marketing branch behind the product.
Definitely.
I think it breaks down to really you've got a base model. If you get a base model, 90cc engine that you can crank up and ride on water and go like 32 miles an hour at the base model, right?
Absolutely.
32 miles an hour.
Right. Without wind, waves, or a boat having to pull
Without
you.
wind, waves, or a boat, you're self-propelled.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious. How's the throttle? Is it like a button? Do you dial a wheel, or how do you do the throttle?
In your hand, you hold a control handle, and it has a throttle trigger, and that's part of what helps you balance on the board is holding that
like
as well as how you power the board.
Variable speed trigger, right?
Yeah, So that's going to be how you power the board.
Just like a drill, like a power drill.
That's
if you're
right.
running a power drill with a variable speed.
That's right.
Nice.
And then it's attached to the throttle cable cord, which is adjustable for different height. Right, if you're a certain height, short people, tall people, certain arm lengths, we can adjust that to where it's comfortable for you when you ride.
So I know it's a carburetor, but y'all list a microprocessor in your specs. So you're using microcontrol with your trigger hand, right?
Right. So yeah, there's an ICU that's connected to the starter, which allows you to start up every time the engine kills in the water.
Wow. So it's sensing when you kill the engine?
Yeah, as soon as you fall off, the engine dies, and then it restarts and everything when you put the kill switch back in.
Bam. Yeah.
That's right. And then you're good to go.
If we're looking at the deal, it's the